To say animation isn't a subject that I'm fascinated with would be a massive lie. While I haven't really made any animations in the past, I am incredibly fascinated with the process of making an animation. The prospect of drawing a character and making it move was incredibly fascinating to me when I was young. Along with that, the idea of making backgrounds for cartoons was also incredibly fascinating, as it allowed you to essentially create this little world of your own. I remember back when I was in school, I used to watch a lot of animation time-lapse videos. A personal favourite that I remember watching a lot was by the user Back2Soul, where they animated Sonic the Hedgehog characters. With the creation of animation software like Adobe Flash and Toon Boom, and with the constant rise of the internet, people started making animations that were released exclusively for the internet. An early example of this would be the goddamn George Liquor program created by now disgraced animator John Cristoforetti.
What did I tell you? Combing your hair in the morning.
Later examples would be shows like Ed's World, created by Ed Gould.
Oh no, we hit that person.
Big bloody deal. That person busted our car.
Salad Fingers, created by David Firth. And Brackenwood, created by former Disney artist Adam Phillips. But I digress. Animator320 is a name that you may or may not have heard in the past. The person behind the channel, Matthew Littlemore, definitely lives up to his username, considering his passion for animation and for his creation of 320 original characters. Matthew created the series CartoonMania, which consisted of the misadventures of Matthew Littlemore, the character, and his 320 creations. The series actually did pretty well on YouTube, gaining quite a lot of views and allowing Matthew to make a name for himself. In total, his channel has amassed almost 3 million views. However, in June of 2020, Matthew had become the subject of controversy and scrutiny due to a few reprehensible videos that he created in the past. Due to this controversy, several voice actors of CartoonMania decided to separate themselves from Matthew and what he had created. Shortly after this controversy, Matthew decided to leave the internet for good. However, this leave didn't last long. On June 22nd, 2022, Matthew returned with an animation called One Singular Sensation. However, he hasn't uploaded anything since, so I'm assuming that he just uploaded this for the sake of throwing it out there. To me, this begs the question of what happened to Animator320. Before creating the Animator320 account, Matthew had another account called Matthew Dalen, which was created on October 30th, 2011, so almost 11 years ago. On this account, Matthew primarily posted Sesame Street related content. The exact date is unknown, but after some time, the account's name was changed to Happy Organist. This account will become relevant later on. Matthew Littlemore created the Animator320 channel on March 7th, 2017. However, he wouldn't post to the account until August 9th of that year. In this video, the Matthew Littlemore character explains the concept of slapstick, a type of humor primarily used in old cartoons.
Slapstick is a concept that occurs in most classic cartoons. Animating it is not easy, though. It's more complicated than setting up a mousetrap.
Throughout his time on YouTube, Matthew proved to have quite the work ethic. Despite some of his content being made in 2016, he managed to rake up the views and essentially made a name for himself within the animation community. At this time, CartoonMania had around 32 episodes which varied in length from around 35 seconds long to almost half an hour long. Videos 1 through 20 served as Season 1 of CartoonMania, videos 21 through 31 served as Season 2, and video 32 served as Episode 1 of Season 3. On September 20th, 2019, Matthew uploaded CartoonMania the movie. The plot of the movie consists of Matthew getting a job in a local animation studio while also having to endure the constant antagonization of Lucifer Killingsworth, his former classmate turned rival. All the while, he isn't allowed to lose his temper, otherwise he places his job in jeopardy.
I have to turn down!
You must be a busy man.
Yes, sir, I am.
As of 2022, the movie currently sits at 444,000 views. Shortly after the release of CartoonMania the movie, Matthew planned on rebooting the entire series, even going as far to create a video consisting of a fake convention panel announcing the designs and ideas for the reboot.
As well, and here's the vehicle they're going to travel around in, made out of school supplies. Yeah, that was an idea I really wanted to get to as well. Moving on, oh boy. Yeah, Roy's gonna be a recurring character, and before you all ask, yes, he's still gonna call people foo. And the Rooster Twins, Roger and Wilco, get their own segment too. Gonna have a Western theme. Thought I might as well do something different with these guys too. And next up is Mr. Incredibone. He's gonna be a recurring character as well. Gonna be fighting off foes who try to attack the house and everyone in it.
In June of 2020, several cast members of the CartoonMania production team left the project after they learnt of the reprehensible content that Matthew was creating in secret. Matthew created several videos that contained a few of his characters in very lewd and promiscuous situations. And in true small commentator fashion, I've had the misfortune of watching these videos for the sake of documenting dumb internet drama. I wanna f***ing kill myself. One video, titled The 69th Floor, consists of characters Tanya Tigress, who is 8 years old, Penny Bleat, who is 5 years old, and Jojo Violet, who is assumed to be in her early teens, belly dancing, usually with a focus on the ass. Another video is set to the song I Turned a Bad Copy Pasta into a Bad Rap by Senzawa. In this video, Penny Bleat dances in a very suggestive way to Victor Virus, who is 4 years old. The next video consists of Victor asking Penny to paint him with a camouflage texture. If it wasn't obvious at all, the last bit is a clear reference to The Simpsons.
Lunch, Lady Doris. Have you got any grease?
Yes, we do.
Then grease me up, woman!
However, that still doesn't justify recreating it with characters that are confirmed to be minors. In July of 2020, Twitter user Mr. Tickle Monster accused Matthew of forcing his alleged fetish in a roleplay on Discord. Personally speaking, I don't see any fetish-related connotations here, but in the end, it's probably hard to tell what Matthew's true intentions were due to not only the lack of more images, but also the lack of real implication, showing that this was indeed fetish driven. Let me preface now that I am not defending Matthew, I'm simply just stating my opinion. Due to the controversy occurring when the hashtag blank is over party trend was at its absolute highest, many fans of CartoonMania and several members of the production team created hashtag Animator320 is over party. Looking through this hashtag, it's very evident that a lot of people here were of no help whatsoever when it came to providing genuine context as to why people may have seen it on someone else's post. As a direct response to the controversy, Matthew deactivated a lot of his social media accounts. He also removed the like to dislike ratio on his YouTube videos. Furthermore, he also removed the ability to comment on any of his videos. Twitter user BabyLamb5 managed to screenshot a comment Matthew had left on CartoonMania the movie. Everybody, if you are reading this, I just want to say that recently I've realised that I have made many horrible mistakes on social media and have drawn and animated inappropriate stuff with certain characters of mine that I should have never drawn in such a way. I still have not been careful with how I've been drawing them even after my controversy last year, and I have not stopped to think about how my perverted actions and behaviours have hurt everybody around me. It was wrong to do all of this, and I should have listened to everybody who told me that it wasn't right. I realised this recently. and I'm actually very ashamed of myself for everything that I have done. I have nobody to blame but myself for my careless actions. I've been thinking long and hard to myself about this whole situation and how immoral of a person I've become. So I've decided to step away from this account for now and other social media platforms, i.e. Twitter, and get professional help so that I can become a better person than I was. I made an appointment with my therapist and I'm about to go to him in a few days to speak with him about my issues. I will visit him regularly, anything to help me become a better person. I am really sorry to all. However, Matthew would quickly edit this comment with the following. Edit. I've changed my mind about coming back to social media after I get better. I'm not coming back to any social media platform ever. I'm leaving for good for the sake of my mental health and for everybody that I've affected. I'm sorry. Goodbye. Many users rejoiced at the fact that Matthew was leaving the internet for good. However, this departure wouldn't last for long. I mentioned earlier at the start of the video that Matthew had another channel before creating Animator320. As mentioned earlier, this channel centers around Sesame Street related content. So it should come as no surprise that despite the Animator320 account being abandoned, Happy Organist remained incredibly active again throughout the remainder of 2020, 2021 and even 2022, with the latest upload to the channel being around 2 months ago. Interestingly enough, on February 22nd, 2022, the Animator320 account became active again. A video was posted with the description saying the following. Since it's 2/22/22 on a Tuesday during the Year of the Tiger, as a cartoonist with 2 tigers, this opportunity was just way too perfect to pass. Happy Tuesday, everyone. On June 22nd, 2022, another video was uploaded to the channel called One Singular Sensation. The video is of Tanya Tigress sporting a slightly new design, singing the song One Singular Sensation. However, Matthew opted to use the 1997 Sesame Street cover of the song. This isn't the first ever instance of an animator returning to the internet after getting into some major controversy. In the past, we've seen this with animator James. Despite possible hints at Matthew returning, there hasn't been any updates regarding the CartoonMania reboot that he was planning. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like there might be some sort of trend happening where animators who get into controversy leave the internet for a while and then try and make a grand return. I mean, we've seen it with animator James and now we're seeing it with Matthew Littlemore. I'm sure I speak on behalf of everyone when I say that Matthew shouldn't have returned to the internet. What's been done in the past is irreversible, and to put it bluntly, the damage has been done. It's pretty sad when you think of it. Matthew started CartoonMania when he was just 16 years old, and by the time he reached 18, he had already released a movie based on the series. Unfortunately, his degenerate antics have forever tarnished his reputation.